Kenyans, let me just speak to you directly. How evil are you to be asking for bribes from sick people? As Sauti Sol said, jiangalie. That's all I have to say to you people who are asking for bribes from sick people.
The one that shocked me was, my person has died. I'm coming to get a death certificate.
Imagine.
And you look me in the face and ask me to buy you tea.
I am mourning.
You think that is the right time?
Yes, this is bad. The national government itself is the one violating the laws and regulations of the land. What are we doing?
In whose hands are we safe?
Yeah. You're the one who has come. You've gone to parliament. You've passed a bill called the public procurement.
We are here. We are being governed by it. You're the one that chose to pass the bill.
Imagine.
To put it into an act, to assent it, and then
you're like, now when it comes
ngojeni
to
kidogo.
SHA, we think single sourcing might work. Yeah.
Tusifollow hata procedure because we are the government.
Yeah. Tunajua mse. There was a report that was done by the Auditor General. The Auditor General.
I know.
Hey.
Kama kuna mtu ana inject. Yewa inject. Na ana injecting
Keep injecting.
Inject na calm face. Inject.
Guys, we need to pay for protection for the Auditor
Hey.
General.
Uyo, inject.
Hey. If the person who likes to threaten people, don't dare threaten the Auditor General. Hi guys, welcome to the Rundown.
My name is Mikhala Barasa.
And I'm Danu Nziuko.
And today we bring you another episode of the Rundown and we talk about the cost of corruption in Kenya.
Yes. But before we do that, have you subscribed to our channel?
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you, Sarah? Have you, Molly? Have you?
Please subscribe. We are on YouTube, and if you'd like to listen to us, we are also on Spotify and Apple Podcast. So as Mihala has mentioned, today we'll be talking about the cost of corruption in Kenya. So to start us off, maybe do you remember in 2022, I think it was before the general election, when the former president Uhuru Kenyatta mentioned that we lose approximately 2 billion shillings per day in corruption.
Yes.
And I was like, 2 billion shillings per day. Guys, do you know how much 2 billion is? That's so much money.
2 billion shillings a day.
Yeah, is lost to corruption. And in 2024, the EACC, in full the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, also published a report saying that Kenya loses approximately 608 billion shillings per year to corruption.
Mm-hmm.
This is equivalent to 7.8% of our GDP.
And before that, there was, I think, a 2023 report that put the amount at 730 billion shillings.
What?
A month. A year.
A year.
Yes, to corruption.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, guys. And I think we've been hearing in the media, people talking about we are losing this much billions, this 100 millions. And sometimes we don't fathom how much it is.
The money is. Yeah.
Yes. Because
now when you say 2 billion,
yeah,
because Kenyans are used to losing so much money, you don't think, like in your head, you're not like, 2 billion.
Yeah.
Like, in your head, you're like, just. But 2 billion is
a lot of money. So 2 billion per day is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's insane. We can't allow that to keep happening. Yeah. So as we kick off this episode, I'd like us to define corruption.
But before we do that, going back to that EACC report, the one I looked at was the 2023 one.
Yes.
And they said, apparently, every time someone seeks a service from the police service, there are 1.1, like there's a 1.41 chance that they'll be asked for a bribe. that's like 140% chance
That they'll be asked for
that
a
they'll
bribe.
be asked for a bribe.
That's a dire situation.
That's like almost every time you go to a police station, it's
You'll be
almost
asked for a
certain
bribe.
that you'll be asked for a bribe. There are other services like business registration. If you want a TSC number, if you want
a
yes,
TSC
Teacher
number.
Service Commission, yes. Some of the highest were those NTSA services, health services, and then they listed counties that had like the largest corruption indexes.
Yeah.
The indices, this was Nyamira, Baringo, Siaya, and Bungoma.
Mhm.
And apparently, this report went as far as to give parameters of the average size of a bribe. So in 2022, the average size of a bribe was like 6K. By 2023, we were at 11,600. Like that's the average amount people
For a
pay for a
bribe.
bribe for services in Kenya.
11,000.
11,000. 11K.
That's insane.
Yes.
We can't allow this to keep happening, guys. That's a lot of money. Because if you think about it, 11,000, who even earns? How many people earn 11,000 per
Per
day?
day.
If you even calculate for the people who are employed, divide your salary by 30 days. How many people are earning 11,000 per day? So by the time a public official is asking you for a bribe of 11,000, that's not even money you're making in a day.
And we understand that these amounts have been staggered. Maybe the people who ask for tenders, maybe they asked for bigger bribes.
Yes.
And for maybe getting a birth. And there was also Paka death certificates. And it was the least, like that's the least times you've been asked that had the
For a
least
death
index.
certificate?
Yes. It was the smallest index.
Yeah.
So we get...
And I've had a lot of Uber drivers saying, like, if they're stopped by cops, the least amount the cops usually accept is like 10K.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You have first, the Uber driver is like, he's not even made that 10K that day when the cop is asking you for 10,000. Or the Kanjo guys in town. Just because you dropped someone. Basically, we're saying that corruption has been very rampant in Kenya. So even as we go deeper into what are the effects of corruption in our country, and even we'll dissect more about the numbers that you've talked about, I'd like us first to define what corruption is. Because one of the things Mihala said in this podcast, we shall not be using jargon, because the aim of this podcast is to inform.
To simplify.
Yes. So basically, to start with, maybe I can start.
Yes.
The World Bank defines corruption as the abuse of public office for private gain. So this definition mainly covers the public sector, and it talks about theft of public funds, bribery, and various forms of favoritism, like nepotism, when you're giving your kin jobs, or tribalism, when you're giving your shemeji some jobs. Yeah. So basically, that definition by the World Bank mostly focuses on the public sector. But now, Transparency International gives a broader definition, where they say it's the abuse of entrusted power for private gain.
I like that one.
Yes, that's a very good one.
Yes.
Because you have been given power. So this takes it further beyond the public sector. And now it can be even wherever you're working. You've been entrusted with some power. The business that you're running, you've been entrusted with some power. So that is the abuse of the power that you've been given for your private gain. Okay. So, Mihala, do you have any other definition?
No. I'm good with those two.
You're good with those two?
Yes.
Yes. So, Transparency International usually uses various tools in measuring corruption. So, there are two main tools that they use. They have the Corruption Perception Index, which is the leading global ranking of public sector corruption across the world. Do you want to guess Kenya is number what?
I would say we must be in the top 5. Are we the top 5?
Funny enough, no.
Really?
We're number 121
Oh
out
my
of
God.
184. Is it 184? Yes.
Kwani, how corrupt are these other countries?
I know. But we've also improved.
Oh, okay.
We've been going up. By improving, not in
Yeah.
a good way.
We're aiming high.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, but no, it's 121. I think they rank
From
the bottom.
yes,
184 is the worst.
is the worst.
Yes.
So we are
actually,
in the top. We are in the top 65.
Yes. Yeah. So there we are as Kenya. Then they also have another index that goes deeper. If you'd like to do some more research for yourself, it's called the Global Corruption Barometer. So basically, this one is a survey that they do. They collect data from individuals about public perception on corruption. How do you experience and perceive corruption in your daily lives in your country?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one gives a more detailed report about how people, what they feel. So now, for example, like, I think a report that would be close to that is the one like the one the ESCC,
The SEC one
did.
does.
Yes, where they find out from people how much did you pay for a bribe and things like that.
Okay.
So I think one of the key things or the missions for Transparency International has been to push for transparency and accountability, especially in the public sector for most countries, so that because the cost of corruption is high.
It is.
Yes. And one of the key things is that whenever corruption is high in your country, it means that the vulnerable really suffer.
They do.
Yeah. So it's really important for all of us to push for transparency in our countries and counties, wherever you are. Yeah. Okay. So, Mihala, you gave us some very shocking
News.
numbers. You know, when you talked about the TSC, like when you want a TSC number and you have to give a bribe. And I was thinking to myself, teachers are the people who are supposed to be teaching our children ethics.
True.
But their own system is corrupted.
Is corrupted. It's aiding.
Imagine.
There was something in the news recently about the Teacher Service Commission. I can't quite put my finger on what that piece of news was, but it was something to do with rogue principles, and I am almost sure, I could almost bet you it had something to do with corruption. But to bring it home, every time you go to, I think I told you this, one of my law firm used to be in Upper Hill near TSC. And every time you'd pass there on specific days, that place would be full. Like, mbele ya ofisi, people would be full, like fully waiting for a service.
Yeah.
And I could bet you if there's 100 people at a door, the person that is capable of paying that 11,000 shillings is probably going to be attended to faster than the person who doesn't have that 11,000. And they have to travel from the counties to come to Nairobi
to get that TSC number.
To do part of that application.
Oh my God.
Yes.
And don't forget, those teachers are not earning like
100,000.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like GSS teacher. I think their salary is now the one that's like almost 30K. So you can imagine you're looking for a job that's going to pay you, let's give it even 30K. And then you're being told to give a bribe of 11,000. How does it even make sense?
Actually, interestingly, that index was talking about one of the highest bribes requested in public service is bribes for jobs. And they were putting the average as a 23 at 163,000. So you have to pay 163,000 for you to get employment in the counties, in the... Okay, obviously, allegedly.
Nothing put that meme for faint.
Miss Rabbit has fainted. Miss Rabbit has fainted again.
Yes. So the amount is 163,000 for employment opportunities.
No.
Yes.
No, guys. We can't have that.
Remember, police recruitment is coming up. Recruitment for the army also, the same thing happens.
Yeah,
people pay heavy bribes to be able to get in to those services, to those jobs.
And guys, you know, if we don't collectively come together to refuse to pay some of these bribes, that's why it continues. Yeah. And you know, the saddest thing, I remember when I was younger, the time when Kibaki was in power, especially his first term, Kibaki 1, I don't know what had happened with EACC that they were so empowered that even the police were scared of asking for bribes. Public officials were scared of asking for bribes. There was just something that happened in the country that people were scared of asking for bribes. It was like I wouldn't, and it's not like Kibaki was a scary guy.
True.
You know, like
It was actually,
I would
it looked
argue
pretty
our
nice.
current guy is more scary.
It's more scary, true.
But he is not able to fight corruption the way Kibaki fought corruption. Because for some reason, things were just working. Police arrests you. If you're going to the station, you go to the station, you're booked, you do your thing, you go to court. But right now, and one of the things, even one of the worst things the police do nowadays, they tell you, let's go to the station, you pay bond, and then you can go to court tomorrow. So when you get to the station and then you go to the M-Pesa that's next to the police station and you withdraw maybe 6,000 to go
pay the bond.
Yes. So when you come back with the money, the cops are like, and now, badala ya kuwaste siku mzima kesho kotini,
si utupatie hiyo
na hii kesi ishe. So they trap you like that. They tell you, let's go to the station, go write for you a free bond. We will see you in court. Or not a free bond. That's not a free bond. What would we call
bail?
That? Bail. Then you can go to court tomorrow. Now, once you've withdrawn the money, they know now you have the money. You're holding the money in your hands. So now they tell you, instead of going to court,
to pay police bail.
Exactly. And this case shall disappear from the files. Don't worry. It's so sad. Now that we've talked about education, I think one of the areas that has really suffered in Kenya because of corruption is the education sector. I like to say that our generation was educated by Kibaki.
We were.
Yes.
We were lucky.
We were so lucky. Because I remember when I was in high school, the school fees was so affordable. It was, actually, we only used to pay for boarding fees, right? Tuition was free.
Tuition was free.
Because in Kibaki's first term, he did free primary education. Then in his second term, he did
free secondary
education. But currently what has been happening is slowly we are moving away from that. So slowly by slowly, parents are being asked to
pay a bit more.
A bit more.
Yes.
So you're being told, oh, your child needs a desk.
You need to pay.
And
you see, the worst part about this is, of course, we know government is sending funding to schools.
Yes.
But principals are now coming out to say the capitated funds are not getting here early. Your kids need to eat. They need to shower. The lights need to be on.
Yes.
So if you want your kid to stay in school, you have to pay this amount of money. And it's not like they're even forcing parents. They're just saying, reason with us here.
The government
these funds will come in August. We are in February. And between February and July, your kid has to be in school.
Okay.
So we need you to step
facilitate.
Up. And even when those capitated funds come, some schools don't even get enough of it. What is that school that was saying they are receiving 3 shillings per student?
3 shillings per student.
3 shillings per student. And then in the same breath of corruption, there are schools that are there, they don't have facilities, they don't have anything. Schools were closed, but they're receiving funds. There are some schools that have extrapolated their numbers. They're getting more funds and that's taking away from the schools that really, really need the funding. Yeah.
I get what you mean. And this is very unfair. Because even in terms of education, one of the biggest challenges we've had in Kenya is regional disparity. So you find in some regions, children have good education. In other regions, the education facilities
are barely there.
Exactly. So you find kids have to go 30 kilometers to the nearest school. And even when they get there, the school doesn't have all the facilities. We've also had issues of food. So if a child doesn't have food at home and they also come to school and the school also doesn't provide food, it also becomes very difficult for these children to stay in school and to concentrate in school. Yeah. So there's a lot happening in education that we need to look at. Yeah. So like that issue of capitation, where is the money being delayed?
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And the money that is not reaching the students, where is it
Where
going?
is it going? Because it's being budgeted for.
Yes, where is it going?
Where is it going?
And then there's also, remember, there's students that go to school because of the CDF fund.
Yes.
And parliamentarians have fought so hard to be able to retain it.
Mhm.
And sometimes you'll watch the parliamentarians on TV being questioned about how CDF is dispersed.
Yes.
And sometimes you listen to them and you're like, you sound so ridiculous.
Mm.
Surely a constituency with less than 20,000 people, 20,000 households, you can't be able to tell which households are the most needy.
Yeah.
All you need is to deal with the chief and the village headman. They will tell you the needy students. So those people put their children, their nephews, their cousins, people who are not even in school. Some of those funds are diverted to go and buy themselves the new make Prado, because
Yeah.
that's where the money goes, genuinely.
And you see, the funny thing about that CDF fund and bursaries, the bursaries that they're saying, oh, we give our constituents bursaries. If the education system was working,
We would not
we
need
would not
to.
need those bursaries.
Yes.
If education was actually free, we would not need those bursaries. We would not. I remember there was a time earlier in the year we had an episode where you told us about ghost schools.
Yes.
Hey, Kenya. Ghost health facilities, ghost,
Ghost
schools,
schools.
ghost workers. Munapenda ghost.
Ghost. Some of you should be met by actual ghosts.
Yeah.
Maybe then.
I know. Because now if we are having even ghost schools, that means there's money going to those fields, those ghost schools that should have gone to schools
With actual students.
Exactly.
And every other week on the news, on social media, there's a story about a school somewhere where children have to cross a river
Imagine.
with crocodiles. Like, use that money to even buy those kids a boat.
Yeah.
Like, it's not out there. Like, this time of year, this river will flood. These kids will need to go to school. The bridge will not be there. Buy them up. Like, these kids, they don't have classes. Surely build them a structure. I look at some constituencies and I ask myself, these people have an elected member of parliament who wears a suit and sits in parliament and says, I represent the people of X constituency. Genuinely, you wake
For
up
5
every
years.
morning and go to work and say, my constituents in XYZ gave me the power to come in. And that school has 1 teacher, 2 classes.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And the funny thing is, these issues of staffing, for example, with TSC, didn't start today. For example, my dad had dropped sciences in Form 3 because the sciences teacher left the school and they was not replaced in good time. So whoever was doing sciences at Form 3 were told, guys,
Wachaneni na hiyo kitu.
drop this, move to humanities. Like, what craziness is that? You want to tell us from the 70s or
Up to date.
I'm not even sure. Anyway.
Let's just say the 70s.
Let's say the 70s. Up to date, things are not improving. You don't know how to staff TSC all these years.
They have not figured it out.
You've not figured out staffing.
They have not figured it out. But we can
The
lose
Ministry
2
of-
billion a day.
Yeah.
Corruption.
Ministry of Education, you know how big Kenya is, but you're still not able to do adequate distribution of primary schools, secondary schools, adequate staffing of those schools, ensuring those schools have adequate resources, computer labs, chemistry labs, biology labs. You still can't.
Why are you being fancy? There are people who genuinely don't have a class,
Oh,
let
yes.
alone a lab. Like, a lab is a
Now
luxury.
It's a luxury. We've
Tumeingia
got
kwa
to
luxury sasa. You just imagine they don't have a class.
structure.
Literally, when you go to school, you can't sit on a desk in a classroom. You
You're
have to
under a
learn
tree.
under a tree. If the sun is too hot,
late.
you can't come to school. In the same Kenya that, and I'm not attacking that school. I really love it.
Mhm.
In the same Kenya, when there's a public school to the caliber of Westlands Primary, that CBC seems to be working. It has facility. They even have a swimming pool. Like, it's,
Yes.
Westlands Primary is, gold
It's
standard.
working.
That is the gold standard of what a public school should look like. The same country has children who can't go to school because the sun is too hot. because they can't sit under the tree.
Imagine. And don't forget, when we're doing that, we're going to have the president needs to fly in a private jet, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the people who elected him, their children are under the tree.
Under a tree.
Yeah.
And some of them, there's a story, there's a feature on the news about a school that in one class, one side was learning a different subject and the other side was learning a different subject.
Imagine the level of chaos in that class.
Wako kwa class ya math watu wanasoma history. Mimi
Yeah.
naweza kuko kwa history.
You're like,
Alafu umekatiliwa
Mimi li-
meza.
only drop math.
Na nimedrop maths. Kwa hiyo class. Alafu umekatiliwa meza.
But that's the thing. I think I sometimes believe that our leaders don't care. Because if we actually cared, then we'd not be seeing the disparity. We'd actually have people who are very keen on quality assurance. I think we also talked about
Quality assurance, yeah.
some time back. Quality assurance in the education sector. Because you want to tell me, at the Ministry of Education, your guys for QA are seated somewhere when children are studying under a tree. They've not done a report about it.
Remember even as you're saying that, remember, what grade is it? There's a grade that they've said they're not printing their textbooks like a few days ago because the government has not apparently paid the printer.
I just think grade 9 has had a lot of issues.
I can't remember the grade. This is news I was listening to maybe 2 or 3 days ago. They can't print books because the government has not paid.
But we're losing money.
But we're losing 2 billion a day.
And
remember...
And probably you'll find the money owed to that printer hasn't even reached a B.
And then also, it's probably been disbursed.
Yes.
And pocketed somewhere. Because what is accountability in this country?
And that's what I'm saying. If we have corruption in the education sector, the foundational stage, is there hope for other sectors?
You know, for me, it's education and health.
Yes.
If those are two of the most corrupt entities in the country, so then our mothers just... Recently they said, and I don't know if it's a corruption issue, but recently they said that counties had stopped funding dispensaries for women who want to give birth in dispensaries. So they said apparently Chief Sharp, Ministry of Health has said anything I think below a level 2 or something cannot be funded for childbirth, like for maternal health. So you have to look for a level 3, level 4. And there was this governor, I think he's from Garissa, who said, in my county, that level 2 that you're talking about is the Kenyatta National Hospital of that entire county. So if you say women can't give birth there, you don't give them an option.
So
and that's the story. At home now. Now, they said from that time to now, even the number of mothers that are giving birth in hospitals has considerably gone down. Because Chief Shah is not covering childbirth, I think, below level 3. Yeah. So then the Ministry of Health comes back and says, oh, now you guys have to upgrade your facilities so that we can send... We've not stopped the funding, just up. I'm like...
The upgrading with what?
With what money? With what money?
Oh my God. We have people seated in offices who are so out of touch.
With what money? Literally, what these people are telling you is empower, pay.
See, Duale comes from Northeastern. The CS for
exactly
health.
My point. And there's a governor from your side of the country telling you, huwezi kata hii kitu.
Yeah. That new policy you're pushing can't work.
In fact, in my head, and I know this is wrong to think, in my head I was thinking, you know, most men are not usually at the forefront of advocating for maternal health.
Yeah.
If we get to a point where men are standing and saying maternal health is important, there's something completely wrong with the system.
It's really bad.
It's really bad. Like, yes, I know.
The women have fought, they're tired of fighting.
Yes.
The
it's
men have
two
now
men
come.
Standing in front of the Council of Governors saying, look, you can't scrap this thing. Like, imagine Linda Mama is now a thing that men are fighting for. Do you have any idea how bad the corruption in the system has to be for the men to be like, hey, yo, by the way, more women can't die?
And now that we've now moved to the health sector. You remember a few months back, the CS for health talked about shutting down 40 facilities following forensic audits. And they had also said that they're planning to degazette an additional 45 counties. I mean, not counties, health facilities. Because of fraudulent activities. I don't know if you remember from your insurance days, the claims we used to flag for corruption. I mean, not for corruption, for fraud.
For fraud,
Yeah. So there were things like, let's call it moving a case that should have been an outpatient case to an inpatient case. Things like billing multiple times for the same person, or I would call it, for lack of a better word, upskilling the diagnosis, so that you can do a more advanced treatment, so that you
for
can,
a small procedure.
Yes, for a procedure that would have been smaller, such things. So those are the same issues that are plaguing SHA or SHIF. And Duale said that those are the reasons why they had to shut down those health facilities. He also mentioned that there are 728 non-compliant facilities, and they were KMPDU was also planning on downgrading 301 health facilities. So for me, when I was looking at these numbers, I thought, first of all, this is a systemic issue. So, of course, we'll talk about SHA, but SHA is already a problem. But
SHA is already a what?
SHA is already a problem. Yeah, whatever that framework that has come to replace NHIF is already a problem.
It's not working.
And one of the things the president said is, there's so much corruption in NHIF. That's why we are changing this
to SHA.
We're going to move now to SHA, a more comprehensive sort of package and things like that. Okay, now you're deducting us a lot of money.
A lot more.
Like,
I no longer look at my payslip.
Yeah, there's no point.
I no longer, I'll just get mad. I'll not even be sad, I'll get mad.
It's true. And it would have been okay if we did not have to keep doing harambes for people to be able to access
health
care. If healthcare was actually working, we wouldn't feel bad.
And then also remember, even with that harambe that you're doing, you have to factor in that your person will go to the referral hospital, get there, and they might not get admitted unless they buy the person in front of the line tea.
Imagine.
Those are actually a complaint on X the other day about someone who went to, I don't want to mention the hospital, but it's the big referral hospital on Gong Road. And they said they were standing in line and the person inside was coming out and calling people one by one from the line and like going and serving them, and they kept waiting in line. And it took this person coming to social media to complain for the hospital to act. Would you now imagine you've done that harambe, you've taken the person to the hospital, maybe the amount that you've given them is the exact amount. They don't have the 11,000 to pay for the bribe. Yet when they are there, they are expected for them to get a bed.
Imagine. And Kenyans, let me just speak to you directly. How evil are you to be asking for bribes from sick people? As Sauti Sol said, jiangalie. That's all I have to say to you people who are asking for bribes from sick people.
The one that shocked me was, my person has died. I am coming to get a death certificate.
Imagine.
And you look me in the face and ask me to buy you tea.
I am mourning.
You think that is the right time?
Guys, this is bad. And looking at even SHA or SHIF, there was a report that was done by the Auditor General. the Auditor General.
I know. And kama kuna mtu ana inject. Yeye ana inject. Na ana injecting
Keep injecting.
Inject na calm face. Inject.
Guys, we need to pay for protection for the Auditor General.
Huyo, inject.
If the person who likes to threaten people, don't dare threaten the Auditor General.
Huyo ana inject.
Keep injecting, Auditor General. She talked about the single sourcing of the digital SHA platform because it violates the Public Procurement Act. Yes. So if even the government itself, the national government itself, is the one violating the laws and regulations of the land, what are we doing?
In whose hands are we safe?
Yeah. You're the one who has come, you've gone to parliament, you've passed a bill called the Public Procurement.
We are here, we are being governed by it. You're the one that chose to pass the bill,
Imagine.
to put it into an act, to assent it, and then
you're like, now when it
ngojeni
comes to SHA,
kidogo.
we think
Tufanye
single
single
sourcing
sourcing
might
sasa.
work. Yeah.
Tusifollow hata procedure because we are the government.
Yeah. Tunajua mse. You know that thing of najua mse.
We know a person.
We know a person who can do it.
And you see, I think in Kenya, our problem is not the lack of laws and legislation.
Yeah.
Because there's a comprehensive barrage of anti-corruption legislation. If we start listing them today, we'll not finish.
Yes.
But I think we can touch on that a little. There's a myriad of laws that deal with these things. There's policies, there's procedures, there's standard operating procedures, there's guidelines. Like, we know what to do. It's not that we do not know what to do. That is why the ESCC website says there are at least 357 civil cases being pursued against people for corruption in Kenya.
Yeah.
For me, one of the ones that struck me as the most interesting one was the other one from the censored. Was the one from the bank owner, the big bank owner that had apparently bought land in Kiambu, and the land is valued at 250 million. And you remember the discussion we were having with you and the makeup artist Hai Samba here just a few minutes ago, and he was like, I had bought that land as a present to my wife. Land valued at 250 million. ESCC recovered that land.
Oh, my husband, are you hearing the gifts people are getting their wives?
Imagine. And like you can come and tell court, oh, by the way, I bought that land as a gift to my wife. I don't know if it was an anniversary or a birthday gift. I don't know why she was getting the gift.
Okay.
But yeah, I was gifting my wife that land.
I want to be gifted, but also, guys, you need to ask your spouses, where are you getting that money from?
Yep. Valued at 250 million.
Because when your husband is giving you land valued at 250 million, I mean, he must be a billionaire. He must be having a manufacturing company.
Granted, this is a serious billionaire. Granted, they're a serious billionaire, but pia wewe Kiambu hapa kwenye unaona hii yenye ilikuwa na kahawa ya government.
Imagine.
Unajua unaona hii shamba unajiambia bwana yangu ananipenda, and once you see there's a dispute on the land, you also are not telling him sweetie, ni kama hii kitu tuache tuchukue 50 milioni yetu tupeleke mahali pengine. So the government recovered that land. Just a few days after that, there was a raid in the House of Sports Ministry guys. So Harambee Stars, Harambee Starlets, the Malkia Strikers, the Lionesses, you name it, the Simba Races, whatever.
Yeah.
The Kenyan teams are going out to compete without clothing. They're not getting per diems, without food, without proper transport, without proper training. They don't have facilities. And yet, from the house of one sports ministry official, or I think several, they recovered 5.5 million shillings in cash. In cash. Money. Cash money.
I don't advocate for mob justice. But honestly, mbona tunachoma wezi wa mobile phone when kuna watu who deserve tire?
And that was not all. 13 vehicles. Even if one of those vehicles is a meter, that's 13 million.
Marv, we need to take a break, please. I'm going to...
13 vehicles.
I can't. I can't.
And I'm not done. 500 million in government security bonds. Ministry kwani imeemploy watu wangapi? Na unadhani watu wangapi walikuwa raided? Do you think it was more than 15 people?
First of all, we know the salaries of people working in government. They are not that big.
And then unafikiria hiyo ministry wali raid 100 houses. So they raided maybe like at most 15 houses.
Yeah.
Even if each of those houses, that means each of those houses had one car. At least 0.5 million. And at least 10 billion in government security bonds. Or 15. Or 50 billion.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That is the country we live in. And utasikia tomorrow when Harambee Stars are going to play, they don't have a kit. They can't get a bus. They don't have shoes.
It was like the time for COVID. In Kenya, some of the people who died during COVID should not have died during the pandemic. They died because the health facilities did not have oxygen, did not have enough beds. Yet there are people who had
There was a
done
task force.
for KEMSA. The guys, you remember the guys for KEMSA? Eh? The real heisters of Kenya. Eh? But hey, let's keep pretending we don't know where these GLEs are coming from.
We don't know. We don't know where the GLEs are coming from.
We don't know.
Then you make Prado V8.
We
Tujue
don't
kwenye
know.
zinatoka. Ni God.
Yeah. Let's keep pretending. And in church, let's keep taking their tithe. Yeah? Pastors. You're there. Someone is coming. Pastor, I just wanted to give to the
Mungu
church.
amenibariki.
Yeah. And you as the pastor, you know very well that the source of funds cannot be verified. But you take the money and say thank you.
God
And you
bless
even
you.
parade the person
God,
hapo mbele
may
with-
God add you
with
more.
his wife and children.
May
And
God
you
add
pray
you
for
more.
them. Guys.
Yo!
Guys, hey, let's do better. All right. Thank you for listening or watching today's episode. Mihala and I have enjoyed ourselves hanging out with you. So please subscribe to our channel. If you haven't subscribed, follow us on our social media pages at The Rundown KE, on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. On my personal pages, I'm at Ndanunzuko on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on X, on Instagram.
And I am Mihala Barasa on Instagram, on X, on Facebook, on TikTok, and on LinkedIn. Yes.
All right. Until next time.
Bye.